I'm Heather Henderson, and I'm about to take some homeopathic sleep aid called Calms Forte. I'm doing a persuasive speech in my class, and I told the teacher that I wanted to start off my talk by swallowing a whole bottle of these. He said if I did it first in front of someone who I trusted and showed him that everything was okay, I'd be allowed to do it also in class. So I have a box here, and it's got a lot of bowl ingredients. There's really nothing in them. I looked it all up. I did my research. I'm going to open it up here. It's a little tiny bottle. Let's take a look. Oh my gosh, that's a lot of pills.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's 50 tablets. All right, fine. I'm going to take them.
Day?
What is the date and time?
Okay. Hey Siri, what is today? All right. So it's Wednesday, May 31st, 2017.
Okay. I'm going to take... I don't even have all the pills in my hand right now. This is not even really half the bottle, but I'm going to take as many as I can. Ready?
Okay. We're ready. Sure. Yep.
Okay. Excuse me. That was 50 tablets of Calm Forte. I'm about to head to class right now, and I'm going to show him the video, show him the empty bottle, show him the paper I wrote out explaining all the ingredients that aren't in this. And my class is 4 hours long, so hopefully by the end of class, he'll see that there's nothing in this at all.
And right now, the time is... Apple Watch, come on.
It's 5:24.
It's
Good
5:24
evening.
in the evening. Wednesday, May 31st, 2017.
Okay, here I go. Before I begin my speech, I need to take a little bit of medication. Just gonna give me some pep. It's gonna get me prepared so that I can do a great job. Thanks for that. Imagine you have a friend who is a parent of an adorable 18-month-old baby who gets a simple ear infection. Let's call her Hope. What would most parents do in this situation? Many would take their baby to a pediatrician who would prescribe antibiotics that would clear up her ear infection. But what if you knew that rather than taking Hope to a doctor, your friend was treating her with something called homeopathy? An ear infection can be dangerous, especially for someone as young as Hope. Side effects can be very painful and even lead to death. In 2015, Hope's parents were charged with 1 count each of involuntary manslaughter and endangering the welfare of a child. These parents were against antibiotics and other chemicals related to Western medicine, so they treated Hope's ear infection with homeopathic remedies. Little Hope died of a condition that could have been prevented with scientifically proven medicine in the form of amoxicillin. Hope was sick for 3 weeks before her death, and she suffered horribly and unnecessarily from a simple ear infection that led to meningitis, which caused an abscess followed by swelling of the brain. What's even more horrific is because Hope was being treated with only homeopathic remedies, Her illness and death went on without any treatment to ease her pain. At one point, Hope was vomiting and had a fever that reached 103 degrees. And 5 days before her death, Hope started draining fluid from her ear caused by an abscess that ruptured through her eardrum. This is only one anecdotal story, but there are many more like it, which is why I'm here to demonstrate that homeopathy is a lie. I've done extensive research on homeopathic remedies because when I was diagnosed with cancer in 2001, I was desperate to find alternative ways to cure my illness. Fortunately, I also chose to listen to my doctor's advice and go through with chemo when I was so emotionally vulnerable. I tried many expensive products that in the end did nothing but cure my wallet of cash. What exactly is homeopathy? Most people, when they hear the term, think it's just natural herbal remedies. Not even close. To truly appreciate how awful this idea is, we need to go all the way back to the 18th century. A German physician named Samuel Hahnemann began forming the basic principles of homeopathy in the late 1700s. He developed what he called the law of similars. That's the idea that disease can be cured by extremely small amounts of substance that produces similar symptoms in healthy people when they take large amounts. Hahnemann and his earlier followers conducted provings in which they administered herbs, minerals, and other substances to healthy people, including themselves, and kept detailed records of what they observed. Later, these records were compiled into lengthy reference books called Materia Medica, which are used to match a patient's symptoms with a corresponding drug. And for the record, just because the book is in Latin does not make it true. For example, if you had symptoms of swelling from a spider bite, then a homeopath would give you a diluted amount of remedy with a venom of a spider in it to cure the swelling. Because according to Hahnemann, like cures like. Sound crazy? That's because it is. Here's why. Consider just how diluted these remedies are. Here's how it works. 10 to the power of 1 is 10. 10 squared is 100. 10 to the third power has 3 zeros behind it, and it goes on and on and on. To make a homeopathic remedy, you take 1 part of the active ingredient and put it in 10 parts water. Then you success it. Success means shaking, and homeopaths do their successing like this. They tap it on something as they're shaking the mixture. Now this is called a 1 solution. That's far too strong. Then they take 1 part of that solution and put it in 10 parts of water, shake it again, and make it a 2 solution, 1 part in 100. The rule is, the more dilute the remedy is, the stronger it is. A popular dosage is 30C. In homeopath speak, that's 1 part per million, 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 million. Let me put that into perspective. Homeopathic remedies contain far less medicine than if you were to put 1 drop of active ingredient in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. If you dilute a solution that much, how does it even work? Here's what homeopathic doctors believe. They believe that water retains memory. That is to say that they believe water remembers the effects of the active ingredient. What they don't realize is that if water retains memory, then it also must remember all the times that feces and pee has gotten into it. what real medical professionals refer to as sugar pills. After assessing more than 1,800 studies on homeopathy, Australia's National Health and Medical Research Council was only able to find 225 studies that were scientifically valid enough to analyze. And a systematic review of these studies revealed no reasonable evidence to support any claim that homeopathy is effective in treating any health condition. There is no diploma or certificate from any school or program recognized as a license to practice homeopathy in the U.S. Individual state laws and licensing boards regulate the practice of homeopathy, and each state's laws and requirements for practices are different. Some states might not have any definitive laws on the practice of homeopathy, but might have laws on the practice of alternative therapies by non-licensed practitioners. Sadly, the market for homeopathic medicine in the United States is a multi-million-dollar industry. Homeopathic remedies are recognized and regulated by the Food and Drug Administration and are manufactured by pharmaceutical companies. Today, although conventional prescription drugs and new over-the-counter drugs must undergo thorough testing and review by the FDA for safety and effectiveness before they can be sold, this requirement does not apply to homeopathy at all. If you are anything like me, you must be shocked by how this medication can be regulated by the FDA, sold in drugstores, and that anyone would stand by this type of remedy. Some of you might say, well, what about the placebo effect? What's the harm if people think and feel like they're getting better, even if there's nothing in it? The greatest danger occurs when homeopathy replaces a conventional treatment, as it did in another case recorded in the British Medical Journal. A woman had relied on homeopathy during a trip to Togo, West Africa, which resulted in a nearly deadly case of malaria. This meant she had to endure 2 months of intensive care for multiple organ system failure. In her case, the placebo effect offered no protection at all. In other words, any delay in proven effective treatment of some diseases can have dangerous and deadly results. Some people even choose not to vaccinate their children in favor of homeopathic vaccines. As a result, measles and whooping cough are making a comeback. Remember baby Hope from the beginning of my talk, who died from complications from an ear infection? She wasn't old enough to have the option to deny those homeopathic remedies that caused her death. That's the harm. While some people are eating sugar pills as their immune system does all the work to cure their flus and colds, others are suffering and dying unnecessarily. I've given you all this information to remind you to think critically when it comes to some natural remedies. If it says it's homeopathy, remember there's nothing of value in it other than the placebo effect. Here's what you can do. First and foremost, don't waste your money on these scams. Second, if you see a homeopathic remedy in a drugstore, ask the manager why they're selling medicine with nothing in it. By the way, CVS, Walgreens, and GNC sell this lie every day. And third, don't just listen to me. Research the products, their ingredients, and how they're made for yourself. You watched me eat an entire bottle of pills during this presentation. What I swallowed was 50 Calms Forte homeopathic sleeping pills. And by the way, on the bottle it says there are no side effects. Really. See me after class, and you will find that I'm still standing. Thanks.
Good.